Hey guys, you're probably wondering what this Jeep is doing ripped apart, and it's a very good question.
I've decided to take my winter beater on a big road trip, but before I hit the road, it definitely needs some attention. When I first bought the Jeep, I did a lot of work to get it roadworthy, but with a cross-country trip ahead, it could use a tune-up. In this video, I'm going to be replacing the spark plugs and wires, swapping the fuel injectors, fuel filter, and giving the entire cooling system a much-needed refresh. I'll also be tackling a few leaks and handling some other fixes that I'd rather not have to deal with on the side of the interstate. The first project up is installing a rear bumper, and one thing I've been needing for a while now, recovery points in the rear. Let's get into it.
Totally forgot that this leaf spring bolt has to come out in order to get these frame tie-ins in here. And I was really not mentally prepared to get this bolt out today, but I got the bumper mounted. I guess I got the bumper roughed in. It's hanging on by just like a couple bolts right now. I'm heading over to a friend of a friend's garage. He's a welder. He's gonna slap my bumper together. That way, if I ever need to get tugged out from the bumper, it doesn't just get ripped off from the stock mounting points. It's weird, it shifted the power band.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, did you have to compensate that with a different rear disc?
Nice light.
Oh yeah. See everything.
I gotta get this bolt here out. The ratchet actually fits perfectly. Here's getting the last frame tie-in bolt out, and we're gonna pull it off, hopefully, and then Dude's gonna weld the rest of it fully into place, and then we'll slide it back in, tie it down, and it should be good to go.
I don't know anything about the maintenance history of this Jeep before I took ownership, so step 2 is going to be replacing some wear and tear parts, starting with spark plugs and a fuel filter.
So besides the fact that these are like platinum, they don't look too bad.
With the new plugs properly gapped, I'm just going to match my new wires and rotor to the old one.
Got the spark plug wires hooked up. I think I followed that diagram properly. All right. Here we go. Fired up quick. I think that's good. I can't even imagine the last time this fuel filter's been changed. Oh, it's actually we'll start it up, see if there's any leaks. I think it's gonna take a second to prime this thing because a lot of fuel came out of there. So prime it like 5 times and then I'll try to crank it. Okay, let's try this out. Okay, that was like 5 primes. Try to crank this. Wow. Okay, let's run under here. Does not look like there's any leaks. So this totally could be a placebo. I'm not quite sure, but it's been a couple days after doing the spark plugs and wires and cap and everything, and honestly the Jeep feels really smooth. It just feels like it has a little bit more pep. I know it's still a 4-liter, but yeah, there's definitely a difference that I'm feeling in driving.
Most people would consider that a tune-up and call it good, but not around here. This is the big day where I'm ripping the top end apart. New valve cover gasket, injectors, water pump, and radiator are going back in.
We're gonna try to get this lower radiator hopped. Oh, all right. We're gonna try to get this lower radiator hose off to drain out the coolant. And I'm laying below this, and I hope I don't get splashed. I'm getting dripped down though. Okay. Come on. Oh yeah. Didn't go exactly how I planned. We got some in the bucket though. Alright, here's a look inside the valve cover. Doesn't look sludgy or anything. This thing feels like a brittle piece of plastic. So the radiators are supposed to come with like a little support bracket that goes right here, and my old one doesn't have that, and that's why it's all like bouncing around. I don't know if that's even something you can buy at the store. I don't feel like going to the junkyard for it. Alright, it is the next day. I decided to just let the paint dry overnight, so this is the finished product. It looks pretty nice. So, really just throwing everything back together today. It should go pretty quick. Valve cover out. Ow! What is that? I'll try some fucking Kool-Aid. Okay. Get it under. Alright, the water pump and pulley are back in. The other issue I ran into yesterday was these brackets, which I also looked up. Apparently, the technical name for them is the radiator isolator, which you can buy these online. You can't get them at a store. But I think I'm going to go to the junkyard on the next warm day because I need the little nuts and some of the other hardware that goes with them. Time to fill up this radiator. Okay, why are we leaking? Something's leaking. Fuck. It's the water pump. Alright, I am back with the new water pump gasket and some coolant because I dumped a gallon all over the floor. So, I'm gonna take off the lower radiator hose and the water pump bolt and put a new gasket on, and hopefully we will be good to go. Alright, so I just got the water pump off, and look at that, the gasket went inside the block instead of on the sealing surface, or the mating surface. So yeah, that is totally why it was leaking. Before I put the pulley or belt or anything back on, I'm gonna fill this back up and make sure it's not leaking. We got enough coolant in here to at least start it, and then I'll add as I bleed it out. So I'm gonna put the pulley, belt, fan back on. Go right there. All right, it's a moment of truth. Let's start her up, and I'm praying we don't have any misfires. No misfires, no misfires. Oh, prime the fuel pump. All right, here we go. All right, sounds pretty good. I do see an exhaust leak that I'm gonna pretend I didn't see. Look at that. There's still a couple other things I'm gonna do in this video, but this is gonna wrap up the work I'm doing this weekend. So I'm gonna clean up the shop and probably call it a night for now. So I'll check back in with you when I do the next step. All right, here's a cold start so you can hear what the catalytic converter sounds like. It's not rattling too much today. It's pretty warm out, but you can kind of hear it. That's the source of the noise. cat is installed. I'm gonna give it a quick start up to see if we've got any improvement. Let's reset this battery. Try this again. Started up. Sounds a lot better. We got a couple leaks, but I didn't tighten down the clamps all the way. So hopefully tighten down the clamps and then we're good to go.
Last order of business is the oil filter adapter. They're very prone to leaking and very difficult to access with the engine still in.
Oh, it's loose. Hell yeah. Nice. We got it. We'll see. Hopefully this solves the problem. Let's see, but I bent the wrench a little bit. Oil filter adapter is on. All right, while we're at it, let's do a little oil change here. It's the wrong. Dang it. All right. Tune-up work is almost done. I mean, it is done. The only thing I have left to do is put these little radiator brackets on. I ended up buying them online because I was too lazy to go to the junkyard, and it's just a sure thing to find it online. I could have gone there and someone pulled the radiator out and it would have been a trip for nothing. So, yep. Another thing, I don't know if you could see by my garage, got some drips here. Oh, that's a whole lot of oil. So, that O-ring I put on the oil filter adapter made the leak even worse. It was like spewing oil. Even while I was running, it was like a constant drip. So after all that, I took the adapter off and I don't know if you could see it. Wait, I'm not able to get the right spot. It's right there. So now it's like the TJs and the Grand Cherokees. It will just go straight to the block. I had to go with the smaller filter. There's lots of YouTube videos on how to do that. But what I didn't find online was, so the roller pin for the adapter, this is what you need to take that out. People are saying use vice grips. No, get a big ass bolt cutter and grip on that thing. So, all right, I'm gonna throw that in and call this a wrap on the video. I've got a really awesome road trip coming up, so stay tuned for that. And get this stupid thing out of the garage and go exploring. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Later.